is time for an update, and I am starting with the indoor garden. Look at this cilantro. Look how many of these plants came up. I got pretty good germination on the seeds. That is awesome. This is definitely a wonderful method to use with hard to start seeds. And in other good news, the pepper did finally come up. I was a little worried. I actually went and got new seeds. This one came up too. It's really hard to see, but it did come up. So I have backup seeds now. These were really old seeds, to be fair. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn. I'm the Aerogarden Homesteader, and I do homesteading with hydroponic systems. I also have an outdoor garden that I will give you an update on later. This is the perpetual spinach. It's kind of a little floppy. I did notice, maybe you'll see it on this one a little bit better. I don't know if you can see on the bottom of the stem, so I had a little bit of damping off. And I think some of that was because I left the domes on a little too long, so definitely be really careful with that. Looks like it's got like a touch of mold at the bottom or something, I don't know. But yeah, definitely be careful with keeping the domes on a little too long. The cherry tomatoes are both looking really good, and the lettuce is looking really good. I believe I have some in this last one as well. I'm not sure if both seeds came up, but this one is kind of really slow, so we'll see. Everything has water at this point. The lettuce is a little crowded, but I will be moving the cherry tomato and the pepper upstairs so that they can be in the farm, and then I will free up 2 units so that I can spread out the lettuce a little bit more and not have to worry about starting up another Aerogarden. I mean, I'll be starting up a farm, but I won't be starting up another small one. So stay tuned for that. I probably will not be in this video, but I will be I'll go and show you how the outdoor garden is doing. It's looking awesome. And finally, the outdoor garden update. I think this is one of the teddy bear sunflowers, but I'm starting to get some of my sunflowers opening. I've got some of the mammoth ones in the back here. This is kind of a shady spot. It's not the best spot for sunflowers, but I decided to just toss them in the ground here anyways, just because I had some extra. Strawberries are doing great. So these are a hula berry. They're supposed to be white, although sometimes they get a little bit of color. So the key is they don't pollinate very well, so you need to have a pollinator. You have to wait until the seeds turn red. I don't know if you can see that, but the seeds are red. This one doesn't have very many seeds on it. I think this one is actually ripe. It's got a slight give to it. So I need to come through with a container later and track them down. They're a little hard to find because they kind of blend in. So that's just that. Over here, I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to get a little closer. The tomatoes are starting to put out flowers. Now I've got the trellising in the back. Normally what I do is I just come through and I'll just tuck them under there once they're a little bit bigger. So see how this one is tucked under? And they'll just kind of wind up through the trellising, or I will help them along. The peas are doing pretty good. I could eat them fresh now. The way to check them is you want the pod to not give. So this one still has some give to it. There's some space in there, so it's not ready. Did kind of unfortunately take over my tomato plant because they fell over. That one's kind of got the same thing going on, but you know what happens. So they're not going to be too much longer because the weather has been heating up. We've been getting some really good temperature swings. It's been really annoying, but I do have more flowers on my tomatoes. I actually still have flowers on the peas that the birds haven't eaten yet. Damn birds, oh my gosh, they're so annoying. So, and yep, the leeks are putting out flowers. So it's another season of leeks that I don't get to enjoy. I'm not a big leek fan. I mean, I like leeks. I'm not a big leek user. I didn't mean fan. I just meant not a leek user. Over here, these are the pumpkin pie pumpkins. They have started putting out the male flowers. Don't see any female flowers yet, but that will happen. Eventually, I will put it up onto the trellising, but it needs to get a little bit bigger so that I can lift it up off the ground. This will hopefully also help with the powdery mildew. We have a sprinkler system, and it's just easier to allow it to sprinkle everywhere instead of trying to replace everything with drip. So this is the basil. Looks like it's starting to go to seed, which is fine. I have plenty of basil. I have more nasturtiums over here that are doing great. This is actually an onion that's about to flower. I got a tiny little strawberry over here. I think this is one of the red ones. So I'm really hopeful that this will do its thing. And these hula berries, they just take over. My goodness. You just gotta get these runners out because they'll just take over the whole garden. Okay. Our pears are looking good. We did spray them. Well, just gotta keep on top of that. Pumpkin pie is looking good. I got another berry plant over here, strawberry. I'm trying to figure out if this one's a red one or not, because if it is, I need to save the runners from it. And more sunflowers. These ones are getting close as well. Some of these are the mammoth. So I think if you look down the row, the tall ones are the mammoth. And then I've got some that are supposed to be red, which I'm looking forward to that. Tomatoes are over here. Can't remember what I planted anymore or where they went because I just started throwing extras in the ground. Lots of flowers though, so. The squash, mostly male flowers right now, but I'm hopeful that soon it will have more flowers. More hula berries. My goodness, they just took over. These are our apples. Got cherries. I actually had to bag up the cherries. This is what we do when there's only a few on the tree, is we just put a bag over it. I don't know if you can see the cherry in there. It's almost ripe. So we have not tested this one yet. Like, we've never tried it. This is the first year it's producing fruit. So we wanted to protect it, even though there's only like 2 or 3 on there. Okay, this is the mustard. So this is how it puts out seeds. It's actually really similar to kale. Kale kind of does the same thing. And so does, let me see, I think it was rhubarb. Not rhubarb. It was turnip. Kind of does the same thing, where it puts out these long pods. So I am just waiting for these to kind of dry out a little bit, and then I can harvest them and I'll have a bunch of mustard seed. Don't know what color it is because I don't remember what they were when I planted them. My pepper plant is still absolutely tiny. This is actually why I'm starting some peppers indoors. Just can't grow peppers outdoors. So let's see. This is one of the brassicas. It is green, so it could be a broccoli. Although I guess it could also be a cauliflower. And then another tiny pepper plant. Like, oh my gosh, there's another tiny one. I just don't have good luck with them outside. So the ones over here are slightly bigger. You can see all the mustard just laying on the ground. It's all gone to seed. Another, I don't know what that is. Broccoli, cabbage, who knows. Well, it's not cabbage, it's broccoli or cauliflower. And the ones over there are the same thing, broccoli or cauliflower. Look at the dill though. Oh my goodness. It is just definitely got over the transplant shock. The cucumber is not doing well. I have no idea why. So these pepper plants are trucking along. I got some flowers. That one's kind of looking a little sad over there. So, and then yeah, my cucumber, you can barely even see them in the ground. Well, I got a second set of leaves, so I'm kind of hoping that they'll perk up. So yeah, tomatoes are looking good. Those are determinate tomatoes. I'm pretty sure I put Romas over here. So they may not, they'll get probably a little bit bigger, but I don't think they'll get too much bigger. So if I need to, I can just take some twine or something and just tie them up to the trellis. And then finally, oh, this is a broccoli flowers, in case you were wondering. But it'll do the same thing. It'll put out these long pods that'll just be filled with seeds. So I could save them for doing sprouting, but I don't have a sprouting setup. And over here, we got the mint. It's looking really good. The chamomile, which it's my understanding that when the flower petals bend back like this, it's time to harvest them. So not only do I have to bring out a container to do the strawberries, I think I need to bring out a container to put these in, and then put them on a tray to dry. And then something's still eating my, look at this, some of the leaves on the side have just been eaten. I went through and I pulled off some of the heads because they were starting to flower. But yeah, we had to put up some netting out front on some of our fruit trees because they're cherries and they have lots on them and the birds get to them. So we just watched a crow steal one of our cherries, of course. So the calendula is getting close. Oh, there's actually a couple of heads in there, flower heads. Oh, look, This one's almost open. Backlight, there we go. So, looking good. Got the herbs over here. These are looking really nice. Probably should prune them so I can get bushier growth. And this one is starting to flower. That's pretty cool. And then we got the thyme. These flowered. I have no idea what they are. I looked them up and I've totally forgotten. And these are starting to get really close, the marigold. And then I got another sugar pie pumpkin over here. We got some strawberries back there in the little raised bed. So these were original to the house. We got blackberries and raspberries that are also getting close. So lots of things happening. And I did actually figure out what the flower was that I saw as a weed, and I'll put a picture up on screen that I took of it, that I thought reminded me of the chamomile. Well, it's the same type of leaf, and it's a really similar central flower head. Turns out it's a pineapple weed. That's what it's called, pineapple weed, and it's edible. You can pick the seed heads, or the flower heads, and turn it into a tea. Like, who knew? But anyways, this has been the weekly update, and I hope you have enjoyed coming along for this little update. Thank you so much for spending time with me today, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.